Hi everybody, and this is Jackie from Jacqueline and Designs, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be working on getting rid of some of the scraps. This week we'll be doing Saturday Scrapbusters on Monday. This week's scrap busting challenge is inspired by Ms. Paints a Lot. I will be putting a link in the description below, and basically she was inspired by Tim Holtz. Tim Holtz makes some frames very similar to these. These are not Tim Holtz, but they're very similar. A Lot did some really neat things with hers as well, and my stuff is very similar but different because I had different supplies. So there's this one, and I put this fellow, it's one of the Tim Holtz paper dolls. He's sitting on the edge of the frame looking around, and then I just decorated it. This is one of the Tim Holtz backgrounds. I kind of have mixed feelings on this particular one. One, I didn't get my label here very straight, but that doesn't even bother me tremendously. But the background here just looks like it needs something, but I haven't been able to come up with what it needs. If anything, everything I've tried to me did not look well at all there. So at this point, I've decided to go with the simplicity and leave it. But there's a part of me that just keeps looking at this space all right in here, and it just doesn't seem right to me. But anyway, I love how this one turned out. This one was one I actually made a pretty big boo-boo on, and it's a boo-boo that worked out fine. What I ended up doing is I made two of these large size frames and did not know they were stuck together. And when I did my sewing, they were stuck together. If you look up here, you can see the one peeking out. And actually, it was one of the cuter frames. So I was very disappointed, but there really wasn't much way I could fix that without ruining this one, which is difficult to replace because it's made on vintage wallpaper. And that's very difficult for me anyway to replace. So I just decided to leave it, and it ended up stitching up, I thought, nicely. It decorated up nicely with these, once again, Tim Holtz paper dolls, some brads, and some of his backdrops. I'm sure you'll recognize other Tim Holtz components in here as well. And then I did this one. Now Miss Paints a Lot is using hers for pockets. I think some of mine will be tags. Some of them will just be, maybe they could be a journal cover. I like the way some of them turned out, enough to turn them into a journal cover. Or they could be pockets. They could be a journaling card. Now, all of them, none of them really have good writing space on the back. But, I can always put something back there. So, but anyway, I really like how this one turned out as well. Once again, it's Tim Holtz backdrops with his Tim Holtz paper dolls and a little, I call them little itty bitties, these little bitty pieces. So that's that one. And this one is definitely going to turn into a tag. It's one of my favorite ones. This one is small but mighty. It's the size of a tag. It measures about 3 1/4 inches this way, the entirety of the tag. And so I just really liked it. At first I thought putting her into this size of a paper doll, into this size of a frame wouldn't look cool, but it looks very nice with her. And I left it because she looks so pretty with the frame done this way. So I really like that. And then this one, I'm okay with it. I can't say I'm totally 100% pleased with it, but it's okay, and I will use it. And so that is just another of the same Tim Holtz background, a Tim Holtz paper doll, and the frames that we made. And you can see all the frames I did stitching, and then on the backdrop there's also stitching. Now I had one that so let's go ahead. I'm going to put these away. And the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to tell you the measurements. Now this is my current glue paper that I'm using. So the small ones end up looking like as a frame like this. And we're going to decorate our 3 by 3 And their borders are a 1/2 inch all the way around. Then you have your medium one. Your medium one is 3 inches by 4 inches with a 3/4 inch bottom on it, okay? And then you're going to have the large ones. And the large ones measure 5 by 3.5 inches long. And then the bottom of them is the bottom border of the frame is a full 1 inch. Okay, so what I'm going to do is show you how I cut these out, and then we'll go from there. And we're going to start with the bigger one because I think it'll show up on the pic. And then we're going to also cut one out. We'll cut one of each size out. But what I did was, you can see okay, so I can put that there, and we know that this large one, which is the total card, measures 5 by 3.5 inches. Okay, so you're going to put the 5 inch mark. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to mark off the bottom, and you're going to end up with your card marked up a little bit. And I love using my craft mat because I really do not have to do much measuring. It kind of does it for me the way I look at it. My problem is getting the straight lines, and that's why I like using my craft mat. So I can put my ruler here and here and along this line, and then just draw my line, and I have my my 1 inch border. And then I would turn it and place my card so you can see there. Here's what and then do a 1/2 inch. This is a 1/2 inch mark on the pad, and I think most pads are the same. A lot of them are different, but most pads are the same. And so I'm just going to draw a line there at the 1/2 inch, or you don't have to use your pad. I just don't like that detailed type of measurement, so to me it's just simpler to use my craft mat. And then like I said, the main thing I'm letting it do for me, I'm using the markings on it, but I really like it to keep my lines straight. So then I would go down here and mark the 1/2 inch, and I would do that same thing all the way around. So I put the ruler there, and then I mark that. So you can see I've ended up almost like the old Polaroid pictures. Your bottom is bigger on your frame than the sides, okay? And you just do the same thing here, same type of measurement, only your bottom here is a 1/2 inch. So you can see here, it comes out to, you just put your ruler, the bottom on this one is 3/4 of an inch. I apologize. I think I've been telling you a 1/2 inch, and it's not. It's 3/4 of an inch. And then this one is easier. It's just a half that you get. It's a 3 by 3, and you're going to keep turning it, because see, my markings on my mat are all in 1/2 inch increments. Okay, the big squares are 1 inch. These little squares are 1/2 inch. And you can measure this on your ruler. Now, when it comes to my ruler, I like to use the Clear Tim Holtz ruler. You can use any ruler that you have. I have several rulers. I like to use this because I can see what's underneath it to see where my lines are all going. And then if I'm cutting, I like the metal edge that they put here for cutting, because I can see where everything meets. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. So this first one we're going to cut out, and I'm going to use my craft knife. You can do it another way if you want. And you're going to see what I'm talking about, why I like to be, because I can see where my two lines here intersect. Line goes here, line goes down this way. So I know exactly where I want to cut. And this little metal thing that's been implanted into the edge of the ruler keeps me from cutting into the plastic on the ruler. And I just cut. And a lot of people say, how can you cut on your craft mat? Well, that's why I have a craft mat. So why would I have a mat that reseals itself when you cut on it if I wasn't going to cut on it? I do wear them out, but that's what I got it for. Okay, so now we're going up here to where my lines intersect, and we're coming down here to where they intersect. And then I'm going to go do the same over here. And these are the craft knives that I have. They're really cheap. I don't have to remember to buy blades for them. You just break these pieces off. There are some of the brands you can buy replacements for the inside. like this. I've just had these around for multiple years, and I've never had to replace them or anything about them yet. Okay, so now we're going to cut on this line. Okay, and then this one, and then our large size frame will be cut out. So the bottom is a 1/2 inch, and this is a 5-inch long card by, and then this direction, it's 3.5 inches, okay? Then the bottom of this card, this frame is 1 inch, this thicker border here, okay? And this is the piece we just cut from that. We're gonna put that here. We're gonna cut the same way on this one. This one measures, once again, this is our medium size, 3 inches by 4 inches. And we end up with, on the bottom, we have a frame that is 3/4 of an inch in depth. The width at the bottom of this frame is 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to find where our lines intersect, and we marked that. Okay. Here again. Now I have some in this, in here that the measurements are slightly off of the card at where I cut the card out. You know, they may not measure exactly these standard measurements that Miss Paints-A-Lot gave us, but I was trying to use up scrap. And they're so close, or maybe they will create a frame just a little bit smaller, but my principles and my measurements are exactly the same on them as far as how I cut them out. Okay, so there is your medium frame. 3/4 of an inch on the bottom, and then 1/2 inch all the way around. It measures 4 inches tall and 3 inches across. Okay, now we're going to cut out one like this, and those are a perfect square at 3 by 3. And these are some of the ones in particular that I ended up with some that don't measure quite correctly because I did not want to waste the paper. So they'll just be a little bit smaller of a frame. Okay. I'm not finding them hard to cut out at all. As a matter of fact, in some ways, making these frames became a little bit addicting with me over the past couple of days because I was making my prototypes and my samples for the video, and I was like, these are fun. And I just was really enjoying making them. So I've made some and given them away already. I give away a lot of the stuff I make, and so anyway, so there you go. This one is a 3 by 3, so it's a 1/2 inch all the way around. And like I say, this is one of the ones that's actually a little bit smaller, but it's exactly the same. Now, guys, my pup is outside. I am going to put you on hold briefly and go out there because there is a cat that we have an old barn cat here. And I'll explain where I live at some point in the future. But I live way out in the boonies, in a little tiny studio apartment that's my art studio / living quarters. And it's on the side of a barn. And there is a cat that lives out in the barn and keeps us mouse-free, any kind of rodent-free. We have tarantulas in this area. I have not had to deal with any of that stuff since I moved in because of that cat. But the cat has a job to do, and she seems to enjoy doing it. But she also enjoys attacking my little pup, my little Yorkie Poo. And they seem to have a love-hate relationship. The Yorkie Poo teases the cat, but the cat is very territorial about the garage and the barn and doesn't want the dog anywhere near the studio apartment because it's built on the side of the garage. So anyway, let me go get them separated and I will be right back. All right, thanks for waiting, everybody. So now we've got our frames, which is on some old, ugly yellow cardstock that I didn't like. You can see it's not a heavy-duty cardstock. It's kind of thin. And I have a lot of, this isn't the paper I've been using as my, now you're going to hear my dog in the background squeaking her toy. Anyway, I've got a lot of scraps, and stuff here in the background that I'll use to decorate. Let me get some of the actual frame materials out of the way. And I do it in a very simple way. So you can see I showed you earlier some of the ones I already had decorated. Oh, excuse me, the frames covered. They aren't really decorated yet. And then but you did see some of the ones I had turned into ephemera. So, okay, so there's that. Now, I wouldn't mind trying to duplicate some of what I had made earlier. Let's see, I love the one I had made out of the wallpaper. So I think I am going to put some of that on. And I don't cut them until the very last minute when I have to cut. And you're going to see you will have to do some cutting. Now, my little pup gets really mad because I'm not playing ball with her right now. Please excuse the noise. She's the love of my life right now, other than Jesus. But she is also, I've turned her into a brat. So, and it's my own fault. What can I say? All right, so this is on there. Now, what I do is I just turn it over. I take my little dried baby wipe. Some people have a towel. I use these things and I make them last forever. Let's see. And Viva towels, if you're going to use disposables, Viva paper towels, don't leave any kind of residual. I tried using regular old towels that are out of my house, like terry cloth towels and things like that, and they left stuff on my projects. I just didn't like it. Now, you can use the same one over and over again, but part of my thing is that I like the patchwork design. So let's see what we've got over here. I think this would look really pretty with it. Let's see, I'm going to trim that those pencil marks off. Yeah, okay. So I just take the pieces and I just start gluing them around the frame. That's all I do. And you don't have to put, as long as everything is butted up really well against each other, you don't have to worry about covering the entire side of the frame. You can have a little piece here and a little piece down here. They're kind of a patchwork, as I mentioned. So it's just not, and I don't worry about it too much if I just have a little bit on the inside of the frame. As long as it looks straight, I just don't worry about that. To me, life is too short. I move on from there. Okay. And then I just cut it off here. Okay. So there's that on there. Oh, kind of wouldn't be bad. I kind of like to keep this in the blues if I can come up with enough blue. This purple here is kind of blue. What does that look like on there? That doesn't look too bad with that stuff, does it? But let's see. Let's get the longer piece. Let's see, I'm going to take it off like this so that I can actually cut that off to keep that even. Okay. I think that'll look good. Now, sometimes you'll have something happen. Try to get your edges straight so that they'll butt right up against this other piece. But if they don't do it exactly, don't worry about it. You've still got more decorating to do once you get these frames all covered. And so chances are you'll be able to get that covered as part of when you do the decorating. And sometimes I found that for me, it's looked a little bit better with some types of paper if I actually very faintly overlapped that just a little bit. But most of the time I don't. I just, when I decorate them, the seams just seem to disappear. Somehow in the act of decorating. All right. So we'll put this over here. I don't think this little piece is going to be that helpful. So I'm going to put it in the lost and found box. I think paper that is lost to the garbage. All right, now let's see. We need one for this one. We're going to need one more piece. And like I said, I would kind of like it to match kind of in the blues. I mean, it could be this pink flower, I guess. But what's this? That matches it, but oh yeah, let's use that. Okay, let's use that. Let me try to cut this piece. Now see, I'll probably end up, in my effort to try and fix this where it's not quite straight, I will probably end up with it being too short. See what happens. No, I think it's going to be all right. Okay, so let's cover here. Now, one thing I don't like to see, I don't mind it overlapping very slightly, as long as my paper is not too heavy and it, you know, it's not making it look bumpy there. But I don't like seeing my yellow frame underneath on the right side of my frame here. So I don't like seeing the yellow base. It's up to you, but the purpose of covering it is to get rid of that, right? Now, I'm going to make one of the medium ones. Let me put this one aside and we will grab one of the medium ones. And like I said, you cover these in any style that you want. And all your writing and things do not have to be up. I like facing my writing different directions. And you'll see me in my projects doing that. Other times for other projects, it's important to me that it's right side up. So, you know, it depends on what you're doing. So let me see here. Now I have sometimes ended up with that yellow base showing because when I move my paper around, I'll slide it with the glue because this cardstock is slippery. Okay, so there's that piece. And we'll go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and add this on next. Okay, so you can see both of those are ending up with the writing sideways so far. Sorry guys, I hope you don't mind. This is my house where I live, so there will be household noises around. My apologies for my puppy. She's over here trying to get me to stop what I'm doing and play ball with her. And we're not going to do that right now. We've actually played ball half the day already. Did you guys have a good Easter, by the way? We had a great Easter. We had a nice Easter egg hunt with the kids. I didn't get to be with all my family. Some of them went camping. But the day after Easter, we were able to go join them out at the campsite where they were at. So that was very, very nice. Had a lovely time out there. I think this might look good on there, right? It's very plain, but I still I like that it's in the same right colorway. Nah, it's too plain, I think, actually. I wish that flower wasn't there. I would use that. Here is some dictionary, but I might end up putting that up there if I can find a piece that would go all the way over here. So, I mean, I've got some music. That's more cardstock. I'm going to cut that. Yeah, because this is like a cardstock. There we go. Okay. This is America the Beautiful. Okay, and it's from Vanity Fair. Don't know what year. It's a copy of it, I'm sure. But you know, America the Beautiful is written by Catherine Lee Bates in 1904. And I guess Samuel L. Ward, according to this paper. Anyway, today was the day of the solar eclipse, April the 8th. Here in Amarillo, Texas, we saw it. It was about 80% or something totality. So it wasn't as dark as they saw in other places. To me, it wasn't a lot different than a lot of the other solar eclipse that I have seen. Now, we're in for a total lunar eclipse in this area next year. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out at that point if that gets as much attention as the solar eclipse did. But we're having a lunar eclipse, I think, in March of next year. And I think I'd like to kind of cut this right here. And then, because I wouldn't mind for, even though all the rest of the writing is upside down. See if I can do this without ruining it. Well, I think I got it. It's kind of a miracle, but apparently, let's see if I can really mess it up now that I'm trying to straighten it. Do you guys have a tendency to do that? You're trying to get things worrying way too much about a little bit of an imperfection. And you make it really a big imperfection. Okay. Put it right up against there. And then down here. Uh-oh. See, I moved it. I let it slide. But we saved it. You know how fast that art glitter glue sticks, man. If you're not able to fix that quick enough, that's it. Okay, so now we have these two frames done. We have a large and a medium, and let's do a small. So the small, I'm trying to think how I want to do it. La-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-da. I think I'm still going to go with some florals. I'm kind of in a floral kind of mood. Kind of thinking about doing this one if I have enough. This is some of the Tim Holtz, you know how he makes reproductions of the vintage wallpaper? I just love the flowers he does out of that. Anyway, is that where the cardboard writing? Yeah, I want to do it on the same side as the writing so I can cover that up. I love that line of his paper. There's nobody else that makes anything like that. And with the texture on the paper, it is just gorgeous. Okay, now the neighbor dogs are going to bark. You know, I say neighbor, but I live on some family property out here. And so really, all of us live here together. It's actually my brother's wife. So my sister-in-law's family property that my brother and his wife have purchased from them. They didn't get it for free, mind you. They purchased it from them. And so I pay rent for this this little studio, and it's perfect for me and my lifestyle. It's because I travel a lot in my van, and so it works out really well for me. Yeah, kind of thinking of just making this all the same pattern because I'm just enjoying this paper. Okay. We got it butted right up against there. We may not have enough for all 4 sides of this. I think we'll have enough for 3. We're about to find out. Well, that's almost perfect. What's this? Yeah, let's do that. We saw the solar eclipse, and a friend of my brother's from work took pictures of it by putting, you know, those solar eclipse glasses that you can get, viewing glasses. He actually put that over the lens of his camera, just his Android phone camera, and he got actually a couple of neat pictures. I don't know anything about that kind of picture taking, but his pictures to me turned out really cool, actually. So I thought that was neat. But here, it just looked like a cloudy day. It didn't look like anything more than that, actually. So, but people sent pictures from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and it very evidently got darker there than it did here. So I imagine, yeah, because I went and looked at the pathway of it, and it didn't cross directly over Amarillo. I bet you they saw more of it in East Central Texas than we did up here in the Panhandle. So, but from here, we have seen more dramatic, definitely more dramatic solar eclipse in my lifetime. So I was kind of like, okay, now I need to let these dry, but I want to stitch them up. So we're going to put these 3 aside that we just made. But first, while they're drying, I guess let's go ahead and decorate the frames themselves. All except for our people. We're going to use some of my Tim Holtz people. Well, I don't know. I don't want them to. I need those to know what else to put on, actually. So we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. So I'm going to go ahead and I think let these dry just a little bit, and then I'll be back to show you guys how I'm thinking I want to decorate them. How I do this is, by the way, is totally based on how I want to do it. Miss Paints-A-Lot did not do hers exactly like this, although they're very, very similar. I think the main difference from what she did, because hers definitely inspired mine, you're going to be able to tell if you go to her channel and look, is that she used those Tim Holtz portraits and had them faced so that they would be looking off in the distance, things like that. Whereas I'm going to be using, I don't have any of those, so I'm going to be using some of the Tim Holtz people. You know what we can do to give them just a few more minutes to dry is I can go ahead and try picking out some of the people that I put in them. And I am in some ways starting to get kind of low, But I'll tell you what, you know, you can put them on however you want. Like this couple would be cute. It's not exactly what I'm looking for, but they would be cute enough on there. Now this guy here, he's kind of a funny looking guy. Let's take that. But he might be just right for this. His buttocks are not quite where I would want them. So no, I don't want him. I like the idea of this guy and his kids too, but I don't think they would fit. Let's try them and see. They actually fit quite well, don't they? And I don't think there's so much empty space up here that it's going to cause us any problems. Why don't we plan on doing that for that one? Okay. Now this guy, he's carrying flowers and then a suitcase. I don't know what it is, but he's not, I don't think he fits in any of the ones I've got here. Let's see, would he fit? Yeah, that's not for him yet, I don't think. Let me see. A lot of these are just way too big. You know, I've got several bags of them, but I'm starting on this bag now. And then when I get to the others, I'll work on those. This one, whenever I see it, and these girls, you know, it's just one in the front in this dress that she's wearing. My grandma used to work in the high school cafeteria there in Aztec, New Mexico. And they all had to wear dresses like similar to that. And I don't know if any of you remember, these are cute. I don't know if any of you remember, oh no, they're too big though. I may end up having to get that other bag of stuff out despite myself. The cafeteria ladies' uniforms from the past. Look at these guys. I never noticed them before. I think they're way too big, but see this, they're here with a dog down at the bottom. Yeah, they won't fit in there, but that's cute. I never noticed that dog down there before. They're too big as well. Yeah, that may be an ongoing problem right now, that they're all too big. Let's see. I mean, they could be there. Can't decide if I like that or not, but they could be there. I think by the time I decorated it, they might be quite nice. And see her, I could make her and just not put her, because she has no legs anyway. I don't know why they... so I could put her in there and just not put her body in there. Let's see. I don't know why they would make them a paper doll without any legs. What do you guys think? Paper dolls without any legs. Let's see. These guys are definitely too big, but they look like they're having a nice time. See, these are all a lot of big ones in this bag. And this couple looks nice too, but I think that they're just too big. I wonder what they would look like in this frame. Right now, these two young girls are the winners, but these people here are kind of sitting. Let's take, I don't think it's going to work, but... And I've been wanting to use that father and his two boys. So I definitely want to leave them there. I don't know. That's a tie between those two. I'm surprised that I like that one. Oh, look at this couple here. That's hilarious. Let's see what they look like there. See, I'll end up with so many choices that I... Now, they're kind of funny there, aren't they? We'll put them on the contenders list for that frame. Not, we're going to use them on one of the bigger frames later. She looks like she's almost a little person. It just might be the angle she's standing at. I don't know. And look at this lady. She's really pretty, but I've tried putting her in several frames, and the way that she's leaning, let's try her here. Let's see what she looks like here. Oh, see, she doesn't work in that frame anyway. Some of these hats, and even some of these hairdos that these, you know, like thing on the top of her hair. And look at that hat. That reminds me of the Witch and the Wizard of Oz, that hat. The couples, they were so formal. As you all know, when you've looked at these old pictures, they don't smile. And sometimes you can't tell. Now, these ladies, they're all smiling, but these are a much more modern picture, though. But anyway, so right now, those are the contenders for the frames. I'm going to go over and get these frames themselves sewn. And then I'll be back and we'll decorate them and we'll make a decision on this middle-sized one as to what we're going to put on there. I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, so we have got all of our frames here. What I did was I stitched around them. You do not have to stitch. I enjoy stitching, especially certain things like frames. But I just like to stitch. I have a sewing machine and I enjoy using it. But I did a combination of zigzag and straight stitch on all three of these frames. It's hard to see in here because I used beige. I do have a tendency, I know it's kind of silly, to fall back on beige. Now, before we put decorate these with any kind of people, we are going to decorate them a little bit. So, with other things, okay? So, let me, let's put these back over here since I decided not to use them right now. And let's see here. Those I still have not made a decision on. That one I have. Now, let's see. In addition to doing this, it's kind of fun to put little things on these. So let's take out my stamps. So let's find some stamps. Let's find a stamp that kind of matches that. Let's see. La-di-da, we're shopping for stamps. La-di-da-di-da-di-da. Let's see, I have a lot of stamps that I probably need to go through these stamps and purge because they aren't always all that pretty, if you know what I mean. Flower of the Cacti. See, I'm not a big fairy fan. Let's see here. Civil Aeronautics Conference. Let's trim this down. Decide if I want that stamp on there. I don't think I want the stamp. I don't think I want this part. Now we are going to distress this just a little bit with some oxide ink. And now my videos are primarily craft with me videos. So I'm real sorry if you don't like to watch me inking or anything like that. But it's part of the process of what I'm doing here. So you can always skip forward out of it and move on. Let's see, that goes there. Trash. How do you want to use that? Let's put it right there. We'll trim it down. So we have a stamp on that one. Decide what I want. Let's try some of these. I like these. Too many Tupper, just of these bowls with lids around, let me tell you. All right. Now, this stuff over here, that fell off, but this is all Asian writing, so I don't really want anything from there. And this is a man and his sons in this, so I don't want it to be about... Let's put that on down there. Okay. You guys notice how much the weather and just really affects our glues. It's kind of irritating sometimes, the degree to which it affects them, from my perspective. I mean, it's not like that's the nature of glue, I guess, but yeah, I just don't like it. Now, I want to go through here and find some of those little squares. I also have this box of stuff right here. Wonder why I didn't finish that. Okay. You guys have little boxes of itty bitties everywhere. I've got way too many of them. That's what I've got. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and put my people on there and then kind of go from there, decide. Let's see what we end up with. Don't want any of this stuff to fall, for heaven's sake. Okay, let's get rid of some white edges here. Paper core edges. I have to tell you, that is one thing that I wish Tim Holtz would work on getting is improving the paper that these paper dolls are made out of. I don't like it. It shows everything, every little mark that goes across it. If you accidentally bump it with something, there's a little mark on there. And forever forbid getting any glue on there. I mean, okay. Jackie Fix-It. You know what happens with the, look at that. My glue. And see that's one thing about that Distress. It's water reactive. So my glue, yeah, it's because I let it slide. All right, I'm going to also wipe and clean that off while we've got this out. Anyway, my glue is just extra globby the last few days. I don't know. Glue globbiness just interferes with everything. So anyway, back to Easter. We had a really nice Easter. Right now we're working on plans to get the garden here on my sister-in-law. And they came over and helped me with my little backyard last night. Oh no. Okay, I think I tell you. Get any glue on these little guys. That was, we're saved by the bell. Now we'll decorate this further as I come across more stuff to put. I would love to put something up there in that corner. Let's see here. You know, I love the Tim Holtz ephemera, but there's certain ones I like in his kits. And when he runs out, it's like, when you run out, then you're stuck with all these others you rarely ever use. And it just drives me kind of badonkers. Yeah. I don't know if that should go there or not. Hiccups. I actually wouldn't mind something kind of round. What is this? Sterling Stoves. I don't know if that's it or not, because let's do that for up there. Let's see. Oops. We have all kinds of critters that we live on the rim, Palo Duro Canyon here in the panhandle of Texas. And everybody thinks it's totally 100% flat here, but it is not. Palo Duro Canyon is, make sure that's how I wanted that. Anyway, Palo Duro Canyon is second in size to the Grand Canyon here in the United States. So it's a pretty good sized canyon. It's very, very definitely dry out there. We're in a dry area, but two, it's you know, we're in the middle of a desert. All right, let's wipe it off here. Okay, got some thread there. See where that glue got on there? Okay, so the rest of the decorating will come once we get ready to mount this on the backing. Now, let's see. We're going to do this one. And let's get her inked. Those white edges. Weird that they didn't give her any feet. All right. So, yeah, let's just put her right here. Do this without messing it up. Ooh, there it is. I ran out of things to say, guys. That's something I got to improve on. Is what to say while I'm working. My studio is in this little tiny garage apartment. So it's a little 300 and some odd square single room, actually, except for the bathroom is separate. And I've got a tiny little backyard that doesn't count in that square footage either. All right, so there's that one. And she needs to have some decoration as well. So let's see what we can do. I didn't like that one pretty big set of numbers. I don't know what I would think about that blackberry jam. Let's try that one. I want to make, which end do I want this on? I want to make a Tim Holtz kind of style journal. I don't really know if my confidence level is not where it should be or what's going on, why I'm having a difficult time making myself do that. But I am. And like I said, it has nothing to do, I think it's a confidence issue for me. I don't really want to put too much on there with her because I think I'm going to hold off on anything else for now. I wouldn't mind putting a tiny little stamp, but I don't think I've got one big enough. I want to see first if I've got any of those tiny little Tim Holtz. You know what? I just realized I missed this little thing. Punch out here on her arm. There we go. All right. That's the wrong color. I don't think that even goes with that. I'm about out of all those little bitty, here's one. I might have put that first one in the wrong place to use that. $63. That doesn't look right there. Might look good up here. No, don't like that either. Cannot be made happy. I cannot be made happy. Yeah, I use up all, that's the thing I hate about buying those little tiny ephemera packs to decorate. I love the Tim Holtz little packs, but the issue that I have with them is the ones that I like so much to use, get used up. And that's way too much crap there. Like this. I kind of like this one better than the... I like to put something little and round in there, and I'm out of all of those. Oops. I guess other than that word enclosure that just jumped out of my little box here. I think I don't necessarily think I need to print out a bunch more stuff. I think what I need to do is figure out how I can use what I have to make those things, you know. I think for right now, I'm just going to put that on. All right, glue. See that little blob there? There we go. This corner. Okay. All right, and that's all we're going to do on that for now until we mount that one as well. All right. Put that one there. And we have this one left. Bottom. And this is the one that we had a tight competition. You guys put your vote in the comments below. Out of all of these Tim Holtz people that I picked out, which one do you think should have won the competition to be on? This couple here. They're all nice couples. This couple here. And let me show them to you with the on the frame. Because this is a very neutral colored frame. So here's this couple on the frame, sitting on the frame. Here's this couple sitting on the frame. See, my thing is that I'm covering up too much of them. He's going to end up with this much of his body covered up. Which he might not mind it, but it bothers me. So I don't think that he makes it because of that issue. And these girls would be, I think if I did them, I would put them in like this. And they would be very almost, it would almost be a symmetrical picture. And that, yeah. You know what? I think I'm going to go with them. And they'll be kind of like that. I think, even though they're kind of big, I think that's the one I'm going to go with. Let's put them back in the stock over here. And let's get these glued down. Try to do it straight without making too big of a mess. Let's see here what happens. course I did that. She needs a little glue over here underneath her hat. Okay. Oh no, I got glue on her hat. All right, now, I think for their decorations, I think I want to put, I think I'm gonna, look at this lady's skirt is stuck on here. My goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. I don't know. Let's see. My fingers. Oh my gosh, look at where the glue got on. That just drives me badonkers. And I know, don't laugh at me. I don't know what badonkers means. I've had my nieces tell me, Aunt Jackie, you shouldn't say badonkers. Drives me crazy. I've kind of been enjoying working along with Miss Paints-A-Lot and doing those ephemera with her, which is who this is all inspired by. I think I'm going to do some altered paper clips with her still. And then she's got some really cute journal cards that I saw her do. I've got to finish up, of course, all of these that I did, but that's cute. Now I'm wondering now, let's do that. How much more of a mess can I make with the glue? Is it possible? Okay, you guys. See, that is my only, is the paper and I just think they're a poor quality. Now, they're pretty inexpensive. But right now, we all know how much all of this stuff is going up. So, yeah, I'm going to take that, put that there. Getting rid of the white edges. all of this stuff is getting expensive enough that I really don't want the quality of paper. I just don't think that these paper dolls are on. I don't know why they do the things that they do. I don't know what properties of the paper it is that causes that. But I just don't like it. And I think until they fix that, I probably won't be buying any more paper dolls. I have kind of accumulated. I would rather have them print them out and put them on because, let's face it, they're not the funnest thing to cut out. But I would almost rather have them cut that stuff out and put it on the stuff for us because, because it's easier than to spend my time fussy cutting out the paper dolls. But it's where they get this bugs me. And you're like, oh my gosh, because, us as people that work with paper, our fingers are always gluey, Now, I wanted to get these backings over here, these Tim Holtz backings. This one is already cut. I don't know if I want her on that or not. Actually, don't think this is a Tim Holtz background anyway. I'm trying to decide if that's too busy for that. I don't think it goes along with her at all, is probably my... I want to trial them all on these various sheets. Let's see. To see what I like. The other side is this. I actually don't think that's too bad there. I'm trying to figure out how that looks on the camera. I think that'd be a good indicator of how it's going to look in the journal. No, I kind of like it. I know that they're almost the same color as that. But I really like it. I think I'm going to do them on this one. Now the father and son. See, we're going to run into that problem of that space up here again. You know what, that's a little bit different, but I think we're going to use that for them. We'll see how it turns out. Now we've got this lady. And we've got this choice for her. We've got this choice for her. We've got... Well, what do you guys think? I kind of feel like it would be this sheet here. And the question to me is do I want her to be just writing behind her or to have a little bit of music? I think I'm going to go with this. Okay. We'll see what we get, right? Now, so let's move this over for a minute. And let's just get her on here. That made a mess. I don't think that's a real eraser. Oh, Jackie, pay attention to what you're grabbing. Okay, I think we'll be all right there. We'll make it work. All right. All right, let's get her background cut. So that goes with her. Now, we're going to get theirs cut next. And I really want this tape and stuff to appear on theirs. So, okay, that was easy enough because of all those lines that are on there. Okay, there's them. Now, put these away and get them out of our way. And let's get theirs cut now. I kind of want it to be where they're in there, like in the frame like that, with the lighter part. So, hope I can see this. Yeah, you can. Okay. Well, actually, I'm going to need to fix that. That's too big. Yeah. Yeah, that's too big. We'll fix it here shortly. Yeah, that needs to be just a little less. I've got to remember which one it is when I go to cut it. The inside line. All right. What do you guys think of these tonic cutters? I have a love-hate relationship with them. I think there are some quality issues with them, but, you know, all of them, let's go like this. Where's my... Let's go like that. There we go. I just, you know, this deal where they catch onto that area of the blade all the time kind of bugs me. All right, let's see now what they're gonna look like. Where did I put? Here they are. Yeah, I like the way that turned out. Now I'm going to take these aside, and then I'm gonna go and sew these backdrops. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I got these all stitched around, not switched around. Got these all stitched around. So now we can put these on their backings, and then we can decorate them after we do that. Finish our decoration. So let's get our glue out again. And let's glue them down. So far, the art glitter glue has held these down fine. I have had to put them under my mat to flatten out, which, since I'm having to do that anyway, it kind of makes me think I should be using maybe some, like, Aileen's tacky glue or something, because this glue is so expensive. And if I'm gonna, and one of the big reasons I use it is so that I can use it right away. I hope what I'm saying is making sense. And if I need to put it underneath there to get flat anyway, I'm thinking maybe I could use a less expensive glue. I'm actually going to be giving some of the less expensive ones a try. But so there she is. We're going to let her dry for just a minute, just a few seconds, while we get everybody else ready here. So here's the boys and their dad. Okay, now let's go back here and get them glued. I haven't been gluing the people down because, to me, you're going to be pushing, they're bent, you know, this is multi-dimensional, and they're just going to look kind of cattywonker to me if you push the people down and glue them down to the paper below that, because there's a layer. And I like the multi-dimensionality of the whole thing. Okay, glue, come on, don't give me any grief. It's a gluey kind of day. Right now, we're hitting about, I'm thinking it's about 8 in the evening here. I'm not certain. I've been crafting for so long at my table that I have not looked at the time in a while. But to be honest with you, I need to get a clock. I'm just still getting moved in here into this studio, and I have not ever got a clock yet. And so I use my phone. And so every time I need to know if my phone's in use doing something like this, you know, it's kind of a hassle because, yeah, see, glue, when you're working with glue, I really don't like it being where it could get so easily messed up. Okay, and then here's our other couple with the funny expressions on their face. Let me kind of clear out my glue a little bit and see if that helps. see. You know, a friend of mine does journaling in an area of the country where literally she's had trouble getting any of these glues shipped to her because of the harsh weather that she lives in there. And all she can really seem to find ever locally where she's at most of the time is the tacky glue. And she said, Jackie, she can't work with it as fast. And she does have to put it underneath something flat so it doesn't warp. But she says she's always got so much stuff going that it's never really caused her any problems to be able to wait for that glue to dry a little bit and to flatten a little bit before she's ready to move on to the next stage of the craft. She's got several things going, usually at any given time. But let's face it, most of us that do is any kind of crafting, but especially paper crafting, do have things going. I mean, we coffee dye our papers all the time. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm going to keep using my art glitter glue. I love my art glitter glue, and I love how fast it works. But there are times to be able to cut down on some of the costs that we're putting forth to do this, especially as a retired person. Because those of you that do this know that you're not selling enough of this stuff on Etsy or something to cover the true cost of it. I like those. So let's see how everything turns out when we get ready to decorate it further, because we're going to do some more work on it. But I like the multi-dimensionality of them. That little boy there needs a little something under that shoulder. Let's see. All right, there we go. That helped, actually. Now let's get this in and let's start decorating. And I'm going to primarily use labels. I can't believe I just did what I just did. I did not decorate before I glued it down. Yep. All right, well, we're going to have to be creative. 1918, January the 26th, 1918. Bend it. Do you guys have a refrigerator that makes all sorts of funky little noises? I do. I don't know quite what to think of it. It makes noises like you would not believe. I like round circles. I like to put several of them. I like to put them in threes, but I can never come up with 3 of them. I think I really need to work on my little decorating pieces to get them set up with the type of things that I would like to have. It's something I really need to work on. Because, you know, it doesn't draw your eyes into a triangle at all. Let's see. I like that, but it's blue, wrong color. Well, this might look good on there. Yeah, let's do that. And that gives me my circles and my triangle. Here, I like that. Okay. And it doesn't have to be circles. It can be squares, squiggly lines. Okay. Well, I think for right now, I'm going to leave the corners as they are. Because I haven't quite decided what I'm going to use them for. So see now, we're going to put this underneath this guy's rear end down here. And we're going to have our circle, our triangle in this done with little squares in this one. Oops. Just going to ink this up, guys. Once again, please forgive my inky and gluey fingers. I don't really think much inking is needed here because this is a dark color. Just want to make sure all of that white is covered on the edges. And like I say, I may come back and round these corners later. Depends on what I decide to do with these. And I can't find my corner rounder right now. I know it's probably in that stuff that just fell, whatever that was. But anyway, I don't know what that was. Oh, it's all right. Just a little, yeah, I just knocked something down. Okay, it's real life, guys. Especially for me being a beginner doing these YouTubes, it is real life. Okay, so these are the ones that we have done for today. Let me get those, and then we made, so our project was making these frames today. Today we actually created these 3 frames, and it took us a while. And then before you came on camera, I also made this. You can see I rounded the corners on all of these. This, and this. Which this one I don't like. As you already know, I already explained the reason. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you on our next visit. Love y'all. Bye-bye.